All right. I suppose this will be episode 1, seeing as how I named the first non-official episode Alpha. So this will be episode 1 of Rambling into the Void. And I've made a couple bullet points here, just so I have a loose idea of what I want to talk about. But I guess I wanted to start out the episode by talking about the walk I went on today, which was it was in a nature preserve, about an hour away from where I live. Um, I went alone, and it's very cold. It's very cold again. It's a lot colder here than I ever expected it to be because it was still pretty hot. Um, into the months where I would have expected it to be cold, I guess. But I went on that walk, and I felt like I was walking forever. It was a very long trail one way. And a couple times I considered turning back, and a couple times I got a little sketched out just because it was really weird. Kept hearing noises. I suppose it was just squirrels, but in my mind it was Jeffrey Dahmer's ghost chasing me down. And I guess around the halfway mark, I just decided to commit to going all the way. And when I got to the end, um, well, actually, in between the end and when I got there, somewhere in the middle, I found this outcropping with all these flip. I found this outcropping with all these trees, and the bark was so smooth. And I don't know why, but I just became so enamored with the trees. Um, that's besides the point. The funny part of the story is, I guess if you could call it funny, is that I almost turned back like right at the end. The walk was like seemed like an hour and a half, and I almost turned back like right at the end. Like I was one curve away from going back to the parking lot. I know it emptied back out into the parking lot. Um, but I would have had to walk another hour and a half backward. So I guess I'm happy that I didn't end up turning back because I would have been upset. Um, I guess not that I didn't enjoy the walk though. Would have been cool to see everything in mirror. Because when you head back down the way you came on a trail, everything's just a mirrored image of what it was on the way in. I realized that today also. But here on the bullet points, I have. I kind of want the show to have like a philosophical connotation. Um, I don't know if I'm gonna be any good at perpetuating that, or if I'm just gonna sound like some dipstick. But I don't know. I like the idea of thinking. Mm, maybe just getting things off of my brain. So here I have. I feel like I take up a lot of hobbies, and when I take up the hobbies, I get really enveloped in them. And I've had this conversation before that I kind of feel like it's like an escapist way, like I'm being an escapist in a way that like I don't want to deal with anything. Shoot, I don't want to deal with anything. So I become these hobbies. It feels like sometimes like I can get so enveloped in like Magic the Gathering, and I will become Magic. I will literally become the cards, and I will become the characters that I see, and it affords me some type of coping. It's like some coping mechanism. Although I don't know what I'm coping with, like I guess just the normal stresses of life. But how stressed can I be? I don't have to make payments on a house or anything, but I don't know. I feel like I've always been somewhat stressed, but I've been trying to cut back on how much I'm escaping. Um, I don't know. It's just an observation I made and something that I feel like I need to work on, and an interesting thing to talk about. Um, Another thing that I was thinking about earlier today, just thinking up things to talk about, was sometimes when I get really anxious. I heard this term from an artist that I really like named Picture Plane, called hyperrealism. And I feel like if I'm about to have a panic attack or I'm just super anxious, holy crap, that frame rate. If I'm super anxious, everything feels like super hyper realistic, like more realistic than it was before I started having the panic attack, if that makes any sense. Like, I just feel like I'm more in the moment, I guess. But it's not exactly a good feeling being in the moment sometimes. Um, I don't know how else to explain it other than it's just like a more realistic version of what realism is, more realistic version of what reality is. And it's not exactly a good feeling. Um, Hold on, I'm trying to figure out what I gotta do here. Oh, yeah, I gotta go back here, don't I? I don't know. There's a lot of things that a lot of things that make me anxious, like the hyperrealism. And then I found out when I overeat, I get really anxious. And I read somewhere that overeating raises your heart rate, and I suppose that could be the reason. Where the heck am I supposed to go? See, this is what sucks about talking and playing at the same time. Oh, over here? Is I supposed to jump up there? Using Jar Jar Binks? Okay, let's try that. Yoink. Yeah. Alright. Where was I? Things that make me anxious. Overeating makes me anxious as hell. So like if I'm at work and I eat a lot for lunch, I start to get anxious and then I gotta clock back in and it's just like really weird. Working for like an hour, feeling weird. I guess I could just avoid that by not overeating, but sometimes it's hard, you know? Got some like leftover Chipotle and I wanna shit. I wanna eat. I end up overeating. I feel like I overeat almost every time I eat. Holy crap! Um but oh yeah. I wanna try to play better while I'm talking because I noticed the first episode that or the first recording that I did was just kind of a speed through and I didn't get anything interesting going on. Collected like one mini kit. Oh, I want to get True Jedi. All right, I'm gonna head back and try to get True Jedi. Um, but another thing that I wanted to talk about was just change in general and how freaking scary it is. Because I feel like I'm going through quite a bit of change and it's just weird, and I don't want to keep it bottled up because I know that's not good. And it's also hard to talk about. It's hard to talk about now, even though I don't have to upload this. I just feel somewhat insecure talking about it. But I guess it's just the fear of not knowing what lies ahead. I don't want to act like any of these observations haven't already been made, but I just feel like if I'm able to talk about them and process them, it might be a little bit easier for me to deal with. Holy crap, dude. These droids don't stop. Get out of here. But yeah, change on the whole is just kind of it's always been hard for me to deal with. Oh, come on. And I don't know, being faced with change has not been easy for me. Oh, I don't think I'm gonna get True Jedi unless I turn completely back. All right, I'm going back. Okay, time to get some studs. I feel like I'm saying a lot also. I should probably figure out how to at least edit the voice recording so I can cut out all these ums. But the whole idea of change is horrifying to me. And I'm trying to deal with it. And I feel like I'm doing an okay job. Also, being alone has always kind of made me uneasy. And I'm not necessarily alone. I'm just, I guess, with my thoughts more often, and that kind of sucks. Oh, let's go. Dude, one more. Come on. But it's also something I'm becoming completely okay with. Such as, like, I feel like going on walks by myself is kind of exposing me to the idea of being okay with myself. If that makes any sense. And it's definitely not easy, but fudge me, dude. It's definitely not easy. All right, hold up. Come on. Give me True Jedi. Give me True Jedi. I just want to leave. Get me out of here. Yes! Okay. So yeah, being alone, I guess, has always been a rough spot for me, but I'm becoming more used to it, and it's actually something that I kind of enjoy now. It's a good feeling being at least a little bit more comfortable with my own company. Although it does get hard, but I guess that's why I have friends. Another thing that I wanted to explore, another topic that I wanted to explore was like me evolving in this way that being alone doesn't bother me as much anymore. I guess gives me hope for myself. Sorry to have this first episode be really heavy, but I guess just being more comfortable with myself and have more hope for myself as far as moving forward and growing and experiencing life and experiencing everything that life might have to offer for me. And I don't know. I guess this is why I called the show Rambling into the Void, because I really feel like I'm rambling right now, but there's not really any point to it. I guess just to get stuff off my head. I like how in these old Lego games they don't talk. They don't use words. It's just gestures, and it's a lot more charming than the new Lego games where they have voice actors, and it looks really weird. And I don't know, even that background, it was just like a picture. It's beautiful. The flavor of this game is beautiful. But at least for this episode, I got True Jedi. And I think I got like too many kits. Let's see here in a second. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my god. Let's go. And a gold brick. And another gold brick. So I guess on the whole, this wasn't a bad episode. If you guys have any suggestions of games I should play, I will take suggestions. Like if you want to suggest Hotline Miami in the comments, and then I'll do Hotline Miami. But like, if there's any other suggestions, you can hold on to those. But if it's Hotline Miami, I'll do it. So just suggest that. And maybe I'll have some more interesting things to talk about next time. And maybe I won't sound like an idiot. Thanks for accompanying me.